Hey everybody, ABC10 Meteorologist Brenden Mincheff here with a weather impact alert update. The rain has finally arrived, that atmospheric river that we've been talking about basically all week long. At this point, the heaviest rain, the focus of that atmospheric river, is now here in the capital region. Let's take a look outside right now at some of the cameras. This is our tower cam looking over Interstate 5. You see traffic on the northbound side there starting to back up the Tower Bridge. It is raining. There may be a little bit of a pause in some of the heavier rain, but we are expecting some more on the way. Here's another camera. This one, of course, the Golden One Center. Again, rain not that heavy right now. A little bit of a break, but I am expecting more rain just around the corner. Let's take a look at some other cameras right now. Interstate 80 at Donner, we see kind of a wintry mix. We'll take a closer look at that in a second. US 50 at Echo finally starting to actually look like there's some clouds and some stormy weather up there. Most of the morning, that camera has looked sunny. Here, Interstate 5 at Richards, traffic again backing up. It is a wet commute across the region right now, and that will continue for the evening commute as well. Interstate 80 at Donner Summit. It does look like rain right now. I would say about 30 minutes ago or so, it did look like we saw some flurries out there, some actual snow falling right now at best. This is a mixed precipitation event with some rain and some flurries. Honestly, this kind of looks like it's just rain at this point, which tells you the snow level is above 7,000 feet right now. And I do expect that to be the case for most of the afternoon. It's not until this evening into the overnight period that I expect those snow levels to finally start to plummet and stay there for good. So here's a look at the rainfall numbers updated from Tuesday through 12 p.m. Today. And I got to tell you, these numbers are pretty impressive. As we expected, the heaviest rain out along the coastal range and on the north coast. The coastal mountains anywhere from a foot to 2 feet of rain. Basically, I'm going to back up, push the button there, 12 inches to 22 inches of rain. That is not snow, that's of rain. Shasta Dam, almost a foot of rain since Tuesday. Santa Rosa, same story, over 11 inches of rain. They've had some pretty bad flooding issues in Santa Rosa over the last couple of days. Ukiah, over 8 inches. Chico, just about 8 inches. Oroville Dam, 7.25. Blue Canyon, about 4, coming up on 4.5 there, inches of rain at Blue Canyon. Downtown Sacramento, notice pretty significant drop-off. Over an inch at this point. Most of that, I would say, has fallen about half and half. Half of it fell from Tuesday through this morning, and then about from 8 a.m. to 12 p.m., we've added on almost half an inch of rain in just that time frame. Stockton still, though, as of noon, only looking at about 1/10 of an inch of rain. Modesto still has yet to record, again, as of noon. These numbers are changing constantly because rain is pushing through the area. So those ABC10 weather impact alert headlines, steady, heavy rain for today and into the overnight as well. Snow levels are high right now, like what we saw from that I-80 Donner camera. Snow levels likely above 7,000 feet. So it's going to be mainly rain today in the Sierra, but heavy snow will begin tonight and continue through Saturday. The reason our weather has changed from what we've had the last few days, that atmospheric river as of Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday was pointed up near Cape Mendocino. We were on kind of the drier side of the storm. That rain was just missing us. That's why those rain totals in the upper valley on the coastal range and north coast were so much higher than what we've seen here in Sacramento. Even down Stockton, Modesto, again, barely have seen anything. But today, that atmospheric river, the center of it has shifted south. It's pointed right at I-80, right at the capital region. That is why we are now taking the brunt of that atmospheric river. The colder air still a little bit to the north of us. As this atmospheric river continues to slide south through the daytime and the overnight periods, we'll still have that moisture, but that colder air is going to filter in, and it's really going to help lower those snow levels. And then we're going to see, instead of heavy rain, we're going to see some heavy snow in the high country. So once this starts over the last 24 hours, you see the center of that atmospheric river shifts south right there, especially once we got after sunrise this morning. We'll look at it one more time. Center shifts south, and that is why we now have that heavy rain. There is that atmospheric river pulling that tropical moisture up into Northern California. So let's zoom in and take a look at what we're seeing right now. Number one thing that stands out to me, the high snow levels. Yes, we see some blues and purples on the map there, but it's pretty high up there. Again, above 7,000 feet or so right now. Even Donner seeing mainly rain, but we do have some heavier bands of rain moving through the Placerville area. I do know westbound Interstate 80 is closed right now near the Secret Town exit due to some crashes, likely as a result of that heavy rain catching some folks off guard. We have a little bit of a break in the heavy stuff right now in the valley. But if you look out to the Bay Area, look at the yellows and the oranges. The track of this atmospheric river is basically following Interstate 80. So this is going to move through the Bay Area, up through Vacaville, Fairfield, and then it'll be in the capital region later on this afternoon, likely just in time for that evening commute, which will make things a little bit tricky. So timing out futurecast here. Again, high snow levels. We don't see quite that heavy rain right now, but we do see it coming through the Bay Area. So by the time we get towards about 3, 4, 5 o'clock, I expect we will have heavier rain in the area. And look at this. You see some red shading there indicating that very heavy rain. And that'll continue again through the evening commute hours. Snow levels stay high. Roads are already wet. We've got a flood advisory in the valley, and that includes the Sacramento metro area. Because roads are wet, we're going to see more rain. Already seeing some ponding as well. Take it slow out there through the evening. You're not going to get anywhere fast today. Don't even try. It'll make it dangerous for you and others on the road. Through the evening hours after sunset, that rain still sticks around, although it really starts to shift east of Interstate 5 and starts to focus on the foothills by the time we get towards about 10, 11 o'clock tonight. Snow levels still roughly 7,000 feet, but beginning to drop by the time we get towards 9, 10 o'clock at night. By midnight, we're really going to start to notice those snow levels coming down, and it may even start to clear out in the valley overnight tonight. We're going to see periods of heavy snow through the overnight, especially from the Tahoe Basin south, and then we're going to do it again tomorrow. Not quite as heavy, but we're going to have scattered showers through the morning hours, and the heavy snow continues in the Sierra basically all day. So if you're headed up there right now, it's just rain. You don't need the chains. You're headed up there tomorrow, or you're coming back down tomorrow, Sunday, Monday, we are going to see that heavy snow. You're going to need those chains. We are expecting some chain controls to be needed. By Sunday, we dry out across the region, but this is only temporary because you see more rain off to the west, and that will push into the region headed into the start of the work week. So that flash flood potential for today is now in the valley and the northern Sierra foothills, as well as a little further south on the coast. We were looking at that level 3 to 4 moderate to high risk, really north of Fort Bragg the last couple of days, but as that atmospheric river shifts south, the impacts are coming down with it as well. So like I mentioned a minute ago, flood advisory in effect for the Sacramento metro area and the Sacramento Valley until 9 o'clock tonight. You also see flood advisories out in the North Bay, in the Bay Area proper, and also up into the northeastern part of the state. And that's because of all the rain that we're seeing. This is for active current impacts. This is not what we expect to happen. This is what's happening right now with that advisory. Some urban flooding is ongoing in the Sacramento area. Before we talk more about the winter weather, I want to talk about the winds as well. We were expecting some fairly strong winds in the valley today. That threat does look like it's tapered a little bit. It's going to be gusty at times. It's going to be breezy, but mainly the wind impacts are going to be up in the high country. Look at this. By 5 o'clock, gusts over 50 miles per hour in South Lake Tahoe. So even if you're headed up to the high country, you're planning on getting some skiing in over the next 24 hours or so, that wind is going to continue to be a problem all the way through Saturday morning, and it really doesn't taper in the Sierra until we get overnight Saturday into Sunday. That's when that wind finally starts to die down. So wind impacts in the valley, again, not a huge deal, but certainly looking at some very strong gusts up in the Sierra with gusts over 50 miles per hour possible and honestly expected with this winter storm warning that begins at 4 o'clock today. Snow totals 1 to 4 feet. Now, the highest snow totals likely north of Interstate 80, where we've already seen snow. We've already had some of those cooler temperatures start to move in to the upper Sierra. But we are going to see that snow develop across the Tahoe Basin later on, and we could, again, end up with 1 to 4 feet. Just depends. It's going to be highly localized and depends a lot on the timing of this incoming atmospheric river. But the bottom line is expect chain controls, expect difficult travel. And if you don't have to travel, I wouldn't go up there. It's just going to be extremely difficult, especially as we get into Saturday and Sunday. An avalanche watch is also posted for the greater Tahoe region, and this runs until tomorrow morning. That's because of the wind in addition to the high snow load. So snow levels, like we had talked about, roughly 7,000 feet today at or above the passes. Not quite 8,000 likely, but it is even right now above Donner. But by the time we get to Friday night, tonight, that snow level is going to start to drop 7,000 to 6,000. By Saturday morning, we're looking at 5,000 to 6,000 foot snow levels. And the snow will be lighter by the time we get to Saturday night, but the snow levels do continue to drop down towards 4,000 feet for Saturday night. So model snowfall totals today, is not all that much. Maybe 4 inches at Donner, 3 inches Tahoe City, 3 inches Twin Bridges, 2 inches Kirkwood. It's just not that much because the snow levels are so high. But once the snow levels start to come down, this is by Sunday morning. Look at that. We're talking about 2 feet of snow across much of the central Sierra. And then we're going to do round 2 of rain and snow beginning Sunday and lasting through Tuesday. So we'll add a few more inches of snow on top of what we've already seen with this storm. Now, the American model is kind of on the lower end with some of these estimates at about a little more than 2 feet. But when you look at the European model, it's spitting out some 30 inches in places. So there's better agreement this afternoon with the model numbers like we just see here, a little bit over 2 feet for most of the region. But at times, the European models had totals closer to 3 feet. So it just depends. We're going to continue to watch it as the storm comes in because, again, it's going to be a second round of rain and snow arriving by the start of the work week. Bad news for travel, but it's great news for the ski resorts. Mammoth, Mount Rose, Heavenly, North Star, Sugar Bowl, Palisades, Tahoe, and Boreal are all open at this point. Sierra at Tahoe opening soon. Kirkwood plans to open on December 6th. But if we get a ton of snow out of this, that could move up those dates like what we've seen with somewhere like Palisades, Tahoe. Here's the longer range futurecast. Yes, we have the rain, we have the snow. We kind of went over all that. It's probably overdoing a little bit what we're going to see in the valley on Saturday and Sunday. I expect us to be mostly dry from Saturday afternoon through Sunday lunchtime at the very least. But then you see that next round that comes in by the time we get to Monday, we will see some light snow showers. Most of the rain may be just to the north of the capital region. But then Tuesday, we're going to see more rain, some more snow out of this. But the good news is, as we talk about the holiday, we do start to dry out going into Wednesday and Thursday, which, of course, Thursday is Thanksgiving. So how much more rain? Again, this is in addition to what we've already seen. So 1.4 inches, another 1.5 inches of rain by the time we get to tomorrow at lunchtime. So the heaviest rain is today through tomorrow morning for the valley. Not a whole lot more gets added on, especially in the valley going through the weekend. But then with the next round of rain that comes in, we will likely see some more rain added into the totals. Now, this American model is coming in on the lower end of the forecast, where it's not expecting a whole lot more in the valley, but you did see it added quite a bit more rain and snow up in the high country. The European model, on the other hand, you see instead of 1 inches of additional rain, we're seeing 2 and 3 inches of additional rain across the valley. I expect we'll be a little closer to this model solution because I do expect us to see some more rain in the valley both Monday and Tuesday, in addition to more snow up in the high country. So as we look at the next 10 days, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, all weather impact alert days because we are going to see periods of rain in the valley. We're going to see heavy snow for most of Saturday as well. We are going to have a little bit of a pause for a little bit between Saturday and Sunday. The weekend is not going to be a total washout. It's going to be wet out there because of all the rain and snow that we've seen and will see. But by the time we get to Sunday morning, we may be waking up to mostly sunny skies. It doesn't last forever, though, because we are going to have that round 2 of rain and snow that comes in and continues through Monday, Tuesday. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, though, for the Thanksgiving holiday, things do start to finally dry out. Temperatures, though, it's going to be chilly for Thanksgiving. Look at this, 55 degrees with a low temperature of 38 for Thanksgiving. So, yeah, it's going to be chilly. You're still going to need the jacket, but at the very least, we're not looking